Hey guys, this is Crap Hunter, and welcome to the GDTV podcast. Woo! Um, yeah, slight interesting dilemma. Well, no, not dilemma, but basically, there's only two of us today. I'm with Rexasaur.
Hello.
Yeah, this is a bit more of a
Well, it's gonna basically
yeah.
we did have a plan of having a special guest, but he couldn't make it, so we'll have to
Mm,
leave it for some other time. Plus, the things we're talking about today sort of don't match as
well,
such, sort of. So we couldn't.
not
I think
even.
we couldn't find anyone who liked both of what we're
Yeah.
going to talk about. So we're just going to keep it for us two.
Okay, cool. Right. Well, okay. Because the second one is probably going to be a little bit longer as we both enjoy it as much. Let's start off with Crusader Kings 2. Now, Crusader Kings 2 has recently gained a new edition, or is this like a totally new
It's
game?
no, it's a new DLC. Old Gods has finally come out. The long-awaited DLC, where the first DLC that Crusader Kings 2 got allowed to play Muslims. This one allows you to play as pagans, as well as move in the start date back from 1066 all the way down to 876, which is just after Charlemagne's Holy Roman Empire collapsed and was divided by three. So along with this, the 1.10 patch has new technology where instead of it being completely random, you actually invest technology points into your technology tree and you get to play as pagans who get to. So basically, you can play as any pagan as well as Vikings, which are pretty awesome, and as well as the Mongols. So that's always fun if you really want to screw over Europe because Mongols are overpowered, then you can. And yeah, so if you want to check that out, I'm sure there's a lot of LPs going on. I've got one on my channel, just advertised there. But yeah, that's
Advertising.
and for £10 you can get this amazing DLC. It is really good. I'd seriously recommend it if you don't have Crusader Kings 2 to get that as well. So there we go. That's really all there is to say about that.
All right. Well, okay. Now that's a good bit of information and advertising. Um, yeah. Well, either way. So if you guys are into, is it a grand strategy game?
It's a grand strategy game.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I totally know. Yeah. No.
Oh
No.
yeah, you didn't just ask that. That was
Yeah.
me just
No,
thinking.
no. That was just the wind asking it. Yeah. So if you guys are into grand strategy games, into a major politics and all that fancy pants and democracy, and you also want to see paganism take over the world, if you're of that kind, then feel free to check out the thing. And I'm certain Mr. Rexasaur here will put links into the description
Of
of his
course,
stuff,
of
and
course.
of course, the stuff from Steam, and probably like a lovely little image of him smiling as you get it.
I'll put on the Paradox Extreme trailer for it, which is
Yes.
by God amazing.
Yeah, basically, for those of you who don't know, the Paradox released a sort of extreme trailer upon its release, basically taking the mick, but generally kind of making it like
Let's not give too much of it away. Let's
yeah,
give
yeah.
him the
Okay.
satisfaction of finding out.
Okay, play it when you get the game. There you go. That is exactly how it goes. So, anyway, on to the big thing, of which both of us are majorly big fans. If you guys hadn't known already, or if you guys are coming from Rexasaur's channel, Rexasaur is quite a big World of Tanks fan.
Yay.
A while ago, he got into World of Tanks, and I, being the much elder gamer, gave him a little bit of schooling on World of Tanking, and now he's on an IS-3.
Yay.
Yeah,
Tier
totally.
8.
Already, I know it's crazy, but still, I helped him out a lot, and now he and I are playing World of Tanks a fair amount of times, and it's major fun. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the new patch 8.6 of all the change feature logs has been announced, and it is currently under public testing. Now, of course, for any of you World of Tankers out there, many of you probably have already checked out what this detail is. But for those of you GDTV listeners out there who are wondering what World of Tanks is, well, we'll
It's
tell this.
described by the community as being an MMO
Yeah,
RPG, but it sort of isn't. But
it's
it
not
sort of
really. No.
is. It's
It's
very
not.
different.
It's basically when people talk about World of Tanks, it's not World of Warcraft that are tanks included. That's nothing like it. What it is basically a kind of arcadic like.
It's like having a it's like basically it's capture the flag. basically,
Well,
but
well,
with tanks.
if you're looking down to the bare essentials, it is pretty much capture the flag with tanks. Now, what this will include is also it's quite dedicated to realistic qualities of fighting because in most forms of shooters nowadays, it's more about how fake it is or how many grenades and all that jazz. In this game, it's a lot more dedicated towards teamwork. Wargaming is very critical on teamwork when it comes to some
Yes.
matches, and it's it's in my opinion it's one of the best. It's in my opinion
Well,
it's one
it's
of my
one of
top
those
five,
games
if
of
not my favorite MMO.
if we take a normal multiplayer game nowadays,
Yeah,
no names given. If you get a team which isn't that good, you can pull it back if you're a good player. In World
yeah,
of Tanks, even if you're a good player, you still have to rely on your team because you can't patrol the whole map on yourself. You need your team to help you along the way. And if your team is
yeah.
rubbish, there is a very high chance that you're going to lose.
But on a more positive outlook, so that way we don't dissuade people from getting this game, you can. There are occasions where people have saved it, but what?
Yes.
Yeah, but as Exasor says, it's very important that you work together as a team. Also, it's got quite a good community.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, it's
Debatable.
well,
Depends
okay,
what day it is.
and whether it's half term. Yeah, no. Basically, World of Tanks has a great community and has become incredibly popular thanks to people such as Mighty Jingles, Quickie Baby or Quickie Fingers, if you know him by channel, Rising Sun, World of Tanks tips, all that kind of stuff. All those kind of YouTubers have made it popular, and generally also another aspect which has made it incredibly popular. It's free to play. A lot of people have said that that game is pay to win, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's not really a pay to win. And the only reason why paying actually helps you out in any form of manner is not so that it gives you the better tanks automatically. It doesn't mean that you're going to become a better player. In fact, all it just means is that you'll be able to get from tank A to tank B just a little bit faster than if you were having it on a standard
On that
account.
point, I saw on the World of Tanks Facebook page an article about how Wargaming was trying to remove the pay to win aspect of the game,
Are they now?
which I didn't have time to read, but I saw it, so I'm assuming that there's going to be some differences. But I mean, a lot of this comes down to the 8.6 patch, and so let's get on to it.
Yes, indeed. We've been a bit distracted there, but okay. So the patch 8.6, following after that patch 8.5, is going to be quite a big revolutionary patch. They always seem to make the 8 points. They always need to make the point 6 of a patch
Yeah.
the more awesome one. I've just noticed that from a 7.6, it was like wow. But
Physics.
no, that was just patch 8.0.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, in patch 8.6, there's been a major route around about from the artillery on this game. So now instead of seeing up to tier 7's artillery, we're now going to be seeing up to tier 10 artillery. So for any of you guys who are wondering, shit, this is not good. Don't panic. Because unfortunately, as many of you players who have played this will know, it's going to be
They're basically just
uh,
moving them up a bit.
yeah.
Basically, the tier 7 R2 we have now will be tier 10.
Yeah, so in a sense, you'll be having a much better game with it. You'll be able to enjoy perhaps a lot more. And
And they're
it,
bringing in new artillery, so for artillery players, you
hmm,
get new artillery if you want it.
yeah, the scumbags get more work. Lovely. Yeah, no, that's just a nickname I've heard used, so I'm keeping it. So yeah, it's mine. Yeah. Basically, the artillery now has got more tanks, but luckily, what's also happening is they are changing the game mechanics of some of the shells and the accuracy. So some people have said that artillery is getting nerfed. Yes, it is. The accuracy of some artillery is a lot worse than it was than it is before the patch. However, what they are doing is they are simply redesigning the artillery to work with the new accuracy model. Now,
Basi-
I
what no, what
yeah.
what they're doing is that every single tank, except for artillery, is
Hmm.
going to have the calculations for how many shots inside
Yeah.
the circle going wide reduced. so that instead of being 20%, which is a very high number, it's going to be something like 1 to 5% of the
Yeah, they
time.
said 5%. I think they were trying to. I think they're redesigning the whole system. It's
Yeah,
not
no, I
just.
think yeah, but
Yeah, the whole.
the thing that a lot of people are going to be thinking, shit, that means artillery aren't getting enough. What you want about? Well, artillery isn't having that. Artillery is still going to be just as inaccurate as it has ever been, because artillery is inaccurate in real life, so they don't want really to change that.
No, true.
However, on the point of nerfing as well, is that high explosive shells, which a lot of people hate because they are the boon of the derp gunners, but artillery use it all the time.
Heat. Did you say heat or a high explosive?
Or both of them, isn't it?
Well, no heat. No,
Is it just high
no.
explosive or is it
No,
just heat?
some people have high explosive. When you get the 105s, there's the high explosive anti-tank, which is the heat. That's the heat shot.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a
no,
premium.
the
And the
no,
a
yeah,
standard
yeah,
derp shot is the one with a really crappy thing.
yeah.
So the
The high
heat
explosive.
shot.
Is it the heat shot that's being nerfed or the high
Yeah,
explosive?
I'm just looking at the thing now. It says new rules of how the heat shot works. The heat shells will
Okay.
start to ricochet if the angle impact is greater than 80 degrees. After successful penetration, a heat shell cannot ricochet inside the tank, and after a sex, yeah, generally speaking, the heat shell is not going to be as powerful as it once
Yes.
was. For any of you guys out there who actually do use the derp guns and are really starting to complain, tough.
Yes,
Um,
don't use derp.
Another cool thing which is implemented is now that suspension is going to count as spaced armor. Now, what this might mean is that in some forms, if a tank shell penetrates the armor of your tank chassis, what might happen is, in
Your
a sense, what it
tracks
might
will
happen is
break and that's
the
it.
shell might not penetrate, or at least not penetrate as much. Though the thing is, what kind of confuses me is that is this an advantage or disadvantage? Because there are occasions where the shell goes through, and it goes through your tracks.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
it. I
might
don't
be
know.
seen. I'm not really sure if that's a
I'm not
good
really sure
advantage
what will
or.
happen about that either. To be fair, I
Mm,
think because the annoying thing about spaced armor is that it bounces more often, and the thing is, if your suspension is something that ricochets a lot, you might get a ricochet underneath you from it. Like if it gets you in a very awkward place.
that said, also it could play ping pong with the shells.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be
I
so
don't
cool if
know.
you could.
I'm not really.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. That's sort of
Well,
a weird thing. But I think one of the things we really have to look forward to. Well, TDs and RT can look forward to. I mean, there's a
yeah.
lot of things about being nerfed RT, but TDs and RT at 8.5 and before had TDs had 33% and RT 50% with reduced XP and credit earnings, but now that is being completely removed. So
Yeah, you can have.
every tank will have the same amount of credits and XP for doing
No,
the
no, no,
same
no, no, no.
actions.
They actually they're,
However,
they're going to increase some of the income for higher tier tanks as
yes,
well.
tier 6 to 10 are going to get increase up to 10%. I think tier 10 is getting 10%,
Is it income for
and
the?
then income and XP
Is it
10%.
just going to be both income and XP?
Yeah,
Okay,
and
I heard that someone was saying that it wasn't. It was going to be for only for credits, which is understandable in all facts.
yeah, but it's going to be both.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's fine.
And so the tier 10 is going to have 10%, and then from tier 6 it's probably going to work itself up, so it's going to be like 1.5% up to whatever, your tank level. So that's going to be good because it means people won't have to pay premium as often.
Yeah, because one of the
Because
yeah.
usually you'd use your tier 6 or 5 tanks to really rack in the money,
Well,
whilst
especially
your
if you've got a
tier
KV1S.
8s. Yeah,
Yeah, because
well,
one of the disadvantages, of course, and to be honest, in a way, the world of tanks kind of has to earn its money somewhere. So how it often is that when you're playing World of Tanks from tier 1 to tier 5, it's still you can gain quite a lot of, you can get quite far if you're quite dedicated in World of Tanks in that area. But then if you start going up towards tier 5, tier 6, that'll be probably when the game sort of you start to notice that if you had premium you'd be getting this much, or if you had this you could have that. And generally speaking, it's about tier 5, it's kind of like the game telling you, look, you can see where you're going, you're getting really well done, maybe putting some cash into this game wouldn't be such a bad idea. And it's very, very good on how they do that, because it doesn't
yeah,
force you, it doesn't really force you to pay, and it's still, you can get from tier 5 to tier 7 easy. That's how I got to
yeah. I
the
got
first
my
amount of premium
yeah.
I got was when I got my Tiger. I was in my tier 6 VK3601H before I put any more money into this game. So it's, and there are some players out there who could possibly get to tier 10 on on a
Yeah, it
standard
was
thing.
definitely. It would take a lot of dedication
Oh,
and a lot of
dedication,
games,
lots
but
of games.
and it would be hard, but
Oh, definitely.
you could definitely do it.
You could definitely do it, and
And
now
it
also,
doesn't make you like want to pay. Like it doesn't say you should put money
yeah,
in.
it's
It's
not going to
just
be one of
you have
those.
the option there. They
Yeah, it
don't
doesn't
tell
spam
you that it's
deals.
there. It's just it's there if
Yeah,
you
it's
want
pretty
to.
much, pretty much. Another cool thing, which is kind of interesting, is now camouflage systems are
Ah, yes.
starting to culminate now. Now, what's basically happened is the values of for vehicles with camo patterns and camo nets will now become cumulative. This means now that the camouflage net and the camouflage patterns will be able to provide extra bonuses to people who are in camo. So, for example, TDs. Can you get camouflage for artillery?
Yes, yes, you can.
Ah, shit.
Yes.
Um, well, no. It
One
basically,
thing, yeah,
yeah, it's going to be it's basically going to mean that artillery and camouflage is going to be a lot better, and it's going to culminate. But on a positive side, to avoid the side effects of obviously having invisible tanks, they've decreased the overall camouflage bonuses provided by like brushes and fallen trees and all that jazz. So although you're getting a perk and an advantage in one aspect, you're still going to have to be careful when it comes to actually
in
engaging people.
addition to this, depending on what tank you have a different camouflage ability. Because if you have a heavy tank, your camouflage rating is actually going to be lowered, whilst if you have a TD, it's going to be raised. So
Mm,
size actually does matter in this aspect of if you're hiding behind a bush and you're a mouse, for example, you're not going to hide very well.
no.
Whilst if you're in a say a Stug, then your camouflage is going to be very high, so you'll be able to hide much better.
Hmm. Yeah, because they've also added a new system, which is actually kind of the most I think the most talked about in this aspect, which is a new kind of a calculation system
What's your dead?
to look at your game. um, what it does is now instead of having like a rough detail and a fair amount of mods out there, which many of you guys may have got, maybe you haven't got, now what they're going to be doing is they're going to be allowing you to see the individual points of damage you've made, what your tank did in the battle, how much money you'll be making, how much money didn't you make because you didn't have premium, or how much cash will you be saving. Kind of there's all loads of stuff like that, which is quite nice actually, because if you're a world tanker like me who wants to sort of make a decent profit or wants to see how much he's using on one aspect or anything, you can really work well with like the financial side of things, and who
Also,
knows, people may become bankers out of this.
for those for those light tanks out there, like tank
Mm,
players, they are now adding where before you would get spot damage. So if you spot someone and someone damaged it, you would actually get credits and experience for that. You also now get it if you detract someone and someone else does damage. So that's really good for light tanks if they see something big coming at them, and they can't really penetrate or anything, but they can still get the tracks because the tracks are exposed.
mm,
So it's nice because I mean I have a M5 Stuart and I've been put in many tier 7, tier 8 games, and the only thing I can really do is detract people. So being able to detract someone and someone else being able to shoot down at them, even RT shooting down on them, will get you extra experience and
mm.
credits, which is a very nice addition.
That's pretty cool. I have to admit that is actually quite nice. I
Well,
didn't.
it gives you more of a, oh my god, he's running away, I know what I'll do, I'll hit him and do as much damage to him. Well, now it's, I'll track him so that I'll get experience if other people damage him.
Well, yeah, it's kind of fair because unfortunately there are occasions where, to be honest, I've had it too, where I've been in my Hetzer, and even though that's not a scout, I have been in like a tier 9 match.
Yeah.
So that ain't fun. Not
Well, the annoying thing
fun at
about
all.
light, why I say it's annoying, I mean, light tanks are usually low tier. You usually see like the Chaffee, the
Mm,
T50-2. They're all top tier 5 light tanks. They're at
mm.
the end of their thing because, and they cost a lot to get to,
Oh yeah.
and that's because they're like they're really fast. They have an average gun. I'm not gonna say it's
Except the
amazing.
Alpha.
They got an okay gun, but they always get put in tier 9 or below games because they're top
Yeah.
tier light tanks. So being able to detract something and then get experience for it is really like it's really nice, and it improves that sort of light tanks don't go out there just for suicide because you're a light
Yeah.
tank. There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah, true. There's actually one tank though I would highly recommend that doesn't. Well, that, actually no. I was just say there's a tank out there that I just don't think will do any better, which is the Auflanked Panther. Have you seen that tank? If any of you guys have watched my video on the first impressions of patch 8.5, you'll no doubt know my God forbid shock. I mean, did you see what gun it's got first off?
Yeah.
Tier
Oh,
3,
yeah.
50 mil.
It's not good.
Oh man.
But then again, there are some tanks. I mean, the
Mm,
VK, was it the VK201D, which I had, which is tier 4, was
mm.
just such a rubbish tank.
Oh yeah.
I got rid of it. It was so bad.
Well,
Uh,
it's
but yeah,
okay.
so the one thing that I say I'm looking forward to, but I'm tempted to just when 8.6 comes out, maybe get an RT, see what's changed.
Mm,
Because I mean, I had an SU5, I think it's called, the tier 4.
mm,
Right now it's a tier 4 Russian. I think it's being changed to tier 5 in the next patch. It's got a really rubbish gun, but I really, because of that 50% reduction in what you got, I really didn't like playing RT because it wasn't rewarding in any way. But right now that you don't have that reduction, you'll see RT players, which you'll see more RT, or you'll just see, I think that's actually one of the reasons why people hate RT so much, is because they've grinded so freaking hard at that minus 50% reduction. That's spending twice as long on a tank when other people wouldn't
mm.
on RT. You'll see good players at higher tiers, which is why everyone hates them because they're so damn accurate.
Well, yeah. The thing is, I mean, I didn't actually. I'll be honest with you. When I was playing through the artillery games, I got RT'd a fair amount of times, but I didn't really start hating them until recently. And the only reason why that is because it kind of feels like. I mean, to be honest, if you guys are out there who know Jingles, or if you ever seen some videos like that, he calls them scumbags, and I'm at that point now where I'm starting to call them scumbags because it's just like, you know, you have, for example, I'm in my Tiger 2, and I'm just cruising along during the battlefield. Now there is a slugfest to the right, which has 600 like other tanks, which are like higher tiered, higher health, and probably do a lot more damage to them. But they'll still go for someone like me, who is out in the open just a bit, or just trying to sneak around, or do something where, or at least they're trying to, someone basically not posing any kind of threat to them, and they'll go for you not because you're an actual threat to them, but because you're just an easy kill. And it's
Yeah.
just, can't you bloody
It's
focus
just
on the
it's that
actual
fact of,
job?
I think, putting arty in higher tiers is going to be good
Mm,
because I mean today when I was playing I got one shotted by a Hummel. That's a tier 5 arty in my tier 6
mm,
Churchill 7. One shotted. It's not good. I think one
uh,
thing that I just remembered about 8.6, which is going to be really good, is matchmaking has been changed so
oh
that
yeah, of
if
course.
you're a tier, say if you're a tier 5, you will only ever face tier 6s or tier 4s. You will
Yeah,
never ever face anything 2 tiers above or 2 tiers below,
or
which was
4 tiers below,
amazing.
depending on, or
Well, yeah.
actually in this
Obviously,
match,
there are
or
there
six
are
tiers
there
below,
are
depending on.
limitations. If someone's in
Yeah,
a platoon,
I think
obviously
that'll probably
that's
be
a
the case.
limitation.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be really
Well,
good.
I think what might probably happen is, well, to be honest, put it in. I mean, for some people out there who don't really know what we're on about, well, in today's match, we were in the Pearl River, which is the patch 8.5's
Yes,
new map, and on the enemy team they had a Panzer II.
that's we were in our IS-3 and a Tiger 2. So those are tier 8 tanks, and there
Uh,
was a Panzer 2, which is a tier 2
I
on the
wanted to
enemy
save
team.
him as well. I was like, don't shoot him. He's going to be cute. No, IS3, bang.
IS-3 just shoots him. Oh,
Uh,
it was horrible.
oh,
Anyway,
cool. Another thing. Speaking about maps, there is
yeah,
a new
new map.
map coming out known as what is it? It's a new
It's
one. Sacred Valley. There we go.
Yes, it's
Um,
gonna. It's basically based on a Korea, on a South Korea sort of village thing, and it's gonna have. It's gonna look about the same. It's gonna be like a mix of not cliff. What's the?
Pearl River.
No, it's
Uh,
gonna be a mix. Yeah, it's gonna be a mix of Paul River and also that map. I can't remember the name. It's not cliff. It's one that's rocky.
Swords.
Yes. No.
Which
Maybe.
one? Which one? Which disadvantage? Which thing is happening in that area? Where
Well,
is
you've
it like
got
a?
you've got you've got three ways you can go. You can go
I know what
on
you're
the
talking
on
about.
the right way with
Malinovka.
mountains.
Malinovka.
No, you got on the right you have mountains.
No, I
On the
know.
middle and the left you sort of have a lake in between.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
not lake.
Is it Lakeville?
It might. No, it's not. Ah, never mind. It might be fjords. I can't
I
remember what it's
want to
called.
remember. And I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean. It's Malinovka. I
Are you sure that's what it's called?
because if you say there's like
No, but
mountain,
no. If you go right, it's a the cliffs are grey. There we
are we?
go.
Is it the maps where we always go to the left because no one
Yes,
ever
because
goes to
everyone
the
always
right?
goes to the right.
Right. I know what that meant. That must be Malinovka.
Are you sure that's what it's called?
I think so. It's definitely an M word. Definitely an
I
M.
don't think it's Malinovka because Malinovka is Campanova.
No, it's not Camp. It's not Malinovka, but it's like Muravanka.
Yes, that one.
That one.
That
Right.
one.
Okay. Right.
We sound like
We s-
total idiots.
sound like experts. Just say we're experts. We play the game.
Yeah, we're
Experts.
we have tier 8. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so basically, the new Sacred Valley is based off Moravkina. I can't pronounce Russian, so
Yeah,
either.
I don't know that one
America.
and Pearl River. It's going to be
It's
basically
gonna
the
be
point
quite
is
a map.
that it was meant to be good for every tank type. So there's bits where you can camp, bits for TDs, obviously.
Well,
Um,
it's just-
there's going to be some bits for heavy tanks. So there's obviously going to be somewhere where there's going to be a lot of
what are you
duking
talking?
it out, and also there's going to be some open bits so RT can just have
Is that
whatever
are you
RT
talking
does.
about Sacred Valley again, or are you talking?
Yeah, Sacred Valley.
Oh right, no, I was just going to say Sacred Valley's kind of. I've seen a couple of videos and it's actually kind of different. It's going to be RT and TD heaven.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but I watched a video preview by Jingles, and after the patch actually comes out, Rex and I are going to be making a video on our channels, and should we put it on GDTV as well?
We might as well.
Yeah, might as well. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have that, and basically we're going to have our own preview of the map. It will be out when the map patch comes out, rather than on a private public server, because it's like lots of odd things, and I don't exactly trust test servers. So
Yeah.
basically, what it is it's got lots of windy ways, and literally all of
I
the
think
cover
it
out there
does.
is destructible,
It
and there's
does
loads of bush
remind of
and everything.
Pearl River.
It's actually quite it's actually kind of like it's kind of small, and it will definitely be great for medium tanks.
Yeah.
But what will be difficulty is there's loads of camping spots for artillery, lots of zones where lots of zones where TDs will love it, and also all the cover around you, except for like maybe mountains.
Well,
And
I think that's what they
it's
with
all
Pearl.
destructible.
Yeah.
So
With-
you've got artillery can, if you drive through a bit of the town, artillery can zero in on you without even having to have scouts, and scouts could easily go around. So once we obviously will go into further
Well,
depths.
I
of
think
our
with
thing.
Pearl River, what they tried to do was to make a sort of TD thing. Like if you look on the left side where there's all those small like
Yeah.
paths, I think that was
That's
that was
TD.
supposed to be TD medium heavy like stuff, and they were thinking, oh, this won't be a map for heavy tanks, but they still managed to find a place to duke, to get this huge
Well,
gridlock
that back
up north.
section is always like, I kind of feel sad for it, because I reckon Pearl River would be a great map if that back section wasn't around. I mean, I'm not saying
Yeah,
that
but
back section's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to complain.
I mean, it's not a bad
But I
map.
think what would make
so-
it really awesome is if more people went into the southern part of it, or the northern,
Yeah.
depending on what side you're on. And literally, if those two people sort of duked it out in the river section and then in the other section, because it's really very impressive landscaping on the
Yeah,
map.
the
Really
yeah.
quite fun.
And it's you barely ever go there,
I know.
especially I always play as a heavy most of the time, so
Well, yeah,
I
same.
barely go there because duking it out is sort of what I have to do, or otherwise the team goes, "What the hell you doing?"
Technically, I'm kind of one of those rebellious people, and I was like, I'll still go the way I normally go, and more often than not, it actually pays to do this sort of thing, because when you're at top tier, I've always found that when you're at top tier and you go the way that you'd normally go if you were a lower tier, you bump into more, or you'll bump into more of the lower tier vehicles, or if you're if you're not so fortunate, you'll bump into the equivalent tierage,
Yeah.
which isn't a bad thing, because you're obviously at that tier, so you can actually duke it out with them.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I've actually saved a couple of games by actually doing that. So I think if people weren't so lemmingly,
Emily.
a couple of other little minor things which aren't so important, but still, it's impressive. A bunch of visual models of the following tanks have been improved: the Matilda Black Prince, the Su-85B,
I
the
have one of those.
SU-14, T-26E4, Gewehr Panzer, SU-26 Hummel, E-100. The turret has been moved 10 centimeters closer to the front on the E-100.
Ooh.
SU-18, Object 212, T-54, BT-2, 82, Panzerkampf Ostif G2, Ostif G, and Panzerkampf Ostif C, or Panzer 1C, little shit spammer.
Oh, you fucking
I
genius.
For any of you guys who are wondering what the Panzer 1C.
Basically, think of it as the COD equivalent of a camper. But
No, not
with-
camper. No, noob.
Of a noob. That's it. The noob tube one.
Yeah. But that's another thing which is a bit of a shame is the fact that lower tiers in lower tier games, it is COD-like in a sense because you've got
Yeah.
so many people who. I mean, it's nothing against the players themselves. I mean, that you're in that perimeter when in those games where you're having to use machine guns, 20 mics, all that kind of thing in that game. But in my
Pom-poms.
personal opinion, I find that one-shot shells are much better
Yeah.
than.
In addition to this, do we want to talk about how tier ones are now going to have a different crew?
Yes, I was going to actually go on to that. Speaking of doing stuff like that, the new patch 8.6 is going to introduce a nice little cozy pillow for new players. All the crew in their tier 1 tanks will be at 100%. Yeah. Well,
Basically, usually when you get a tank and when you start, all your crew is at 50%, which is basically how everyone buys a tank. For free, you get a 50% crew. On 100%, it means that they can get not only a perk or a skill at that point, but their tank will work to the full functionality compared to everyone else's, which will work like crap.
Right, yeah, and the reason, and the thing is, what you'll notice is when you look at tank stats, what they say, it's not the tank that performs at that position when you get the tank. It's actually when your crew is at 100%. That's one thing that probably new players may not really quite get, but I just like to put that out that when you see a tank that can fire 6 shells a minute, it doesn't mean you'll get 6 shells a minute when you buy the tank. It means that when your crew is at 100%, it'll get 6 shells a minute.
Yeah, it's I don't know. One of the biggest issues I have with this is the fact that as soon as they get a tank, they won't get the that's whole my tank isn't actually that good because my crew isn't that good, so when my crew gets better, oh my god, it's going to be great. And when they get their second tier, they're going to be like, this tank is shocking compared to my tier 1. Also, the crew will get skills and perks, and it's like, why? I had to wait until I had a tier 6 tank, my KV-1S, to get freaking perks and skills.
Yeah, but the thing is, bearing in mind, you're in tier 1 and everybody will get it. If they just... now, so there's a whole bunch about talking about it. And if anyone's going to be... Well, in a sense, what this could do is it could teach the players how to effectively work with their tank. I mean, I always have a saying for this thing, know your tank, know your capabilities. Or know your tank and you'll win or something stupid like that. I can't remember exactly what I say, but it's there. No, but just know your tank because otherwise, that's it. Yeah, know your tank. For some reason, I thought there was something adding on to that, but still.
Know your tank or get artied.
Yeah, there you go. Copyright. That's mine now. Know your tank or get artied. Yeah. So yeah, you know your tank and you'll be able to do well. And once you understand what you can do with that. Your crew percentage, okay, you may not be at 100% with your crew, but then at the same time, you can still kill scumbags with it.
Yeah,
so
personally, I would have rather, instead of giving them 100% crew, I still would think they're 75% rather than 100.
I think to be honest, at tier 1, you're not really going to get.
Well, yeah, but
much.
the thing is, you can move that crew onwards, and you would have skills and perks. That means that like tier 4, you'll have a 100%.
Not really. Not really. Not really. Don't forget when you're transferring crew from one tank to another, you have to retrain them, so they'll be taken all the way back down to 50%.
Well, no.
And if you're willing to pay
because they won't have money.
£20,000,
well, no, if they're at 100%, they'll be taken down to 80%.
Yeah, but you still got to also train them, and you still got to have them. And I think, to be honest, I think Wargaming
that's right.
will no doubt have considered this.
Yeah,
so they'll probably have some implementation system saying tier 1 crew can't be transferred or something stupid like that.
Oh, let's not have that.
Well, come
no,
on.
I understand what you mean now. Yeah, because I mean that crew will have 80% free if they get transferred, and then over that probably won't get to 100% in tier 2. So it'll just keep going down. So yeah. But no.
Plus, so it teaches people how to, and to be honest, once they've upgraded in Assault, they'll sell their first tiers tanks. Yeah. I guarantee a good portion of people, once they upgrade their tank and elite it, they're going to sell it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Mm. I did it to
Well, it's
Almighty
tier
once.
1, so
I remember actually playing the MS one, and I was thinking, actually, actually no, I was playing the Latractor, and I was getting kind of fed up with my Panzer II for a while. So I thought, I'm going to go into another nation, and that's something I will recommend to all new players. Do not get stuck in one nation. I know a couple of people who are playing as one nation, and they're finding it incredibly difficult, and unfortunately, they chose British. Uh,
damn it for them.
no. The thing is, if you get stuck down as one nation, there is a disadvantage in this. I mean, I technically went down one nation, and I kind of suffered the consequences, which was when you're going down going down one tech tree in one nation, you can't really have as much of a diverse gaming field. Yes, technically you can get further up if you dedicate it to one solid tank, but then if you're going up into higher tiers and you're still using non-premium accounts, you may find that potentially you could lose the game. I reckon it's possible. It's hard, but it's possible. Just think about it. If you haven't got a
I don't
premium,
really have that issue because I went when I started. I went up. I wanted to go up the Panzer line and the IS line. So now I got an IS3. While I'm still in my VK, I'm nearing the Tiger now. So I've sort of diversified in that heavy line, but I'm also really enjoying at the moment the American TD line, and I've researched a Hellcat, so it's that diversity which is allowing me to enjoy the game more. Because in my garage, I have vast different tanks, and I'm really enjoying the light tank. I mean, the M5 Stuart. That's a fun tank to play. It's not exceptional. It's not like my KV1, which can stand there and just dish out damage left, right, centre. It's a small scout which is used just to piss everyone off because it's a light tank which can move really fast and no one can hit you unless
well,
you stop.
yeah, and I also like being a troll in the light tank, quite simply because
You can.
well, you can. I mean, I remember being in my Crusader, and I was able to effectively troll a KV1, and literally his turret. I was just every time I went near his turret, I just backed up. So every time his turret was almost on me, I just went, and I
Oh,
just
it's wonderful.
trolled him, and he was like, "Stand still, you
And it's
bastard!"
great because being so fast, if you manage to actually bypass all the enemies, you can get straight for the artillery and then just dish out damage back to them. And you're like, take this, you bastards.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there are occasions where being a light tank, is being awesome. You
It's
can be like,
being your hit. It's being your team's savior. It's
yeah,
like, oh
every
my
tank.
god, finally the arty's gone. I can actually do this game properly.
Yeah, and that'll be when we come out in our heavy tanks, and it's just like, yeah, yeah. But
uh,
no, like I said, there's another thing I'd like to add also on this, which is every player has a different play style, and I know for a fact that I'm not a great player at the game. I know I mean, I'm
I
very
am.
good. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Clearly, you get to bloody tier eights in like 5 months, and I'm like, how the fuck?
3 months.
Well, 3 months, whatever.
3 months.
Um, so yeah, well, I'm
I
helping.
don't.
I
For
had to
those out
help
there,
you
I
out
don't.
all bloody time.
I may sound arrogant, but I don't think I'm a good player at all.
I mean, I'm not
It's
very
just I
good at
managed.
it either.
I put too much time into this game, and I think my education suffered a tiny bit as a consequence.
He got an F.
What? I didn't even get letters for grades. Oh, I think my essay suffered a bit, but my exams went well because I didn't. Stop it! You're lying. Ugh. But yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
yes, but yeah, as Crap Pattern was saying, everyone has a different play style. I mean, when
Mm.
and when one of the greatest things is when me and Crap Hunter and Daimyo, who you've seen on the podcast previously, play
Mm.
together, we all have completely different play styles. And when we all like join in a platoon and work as a team,
Oh,
this
wow.
addition just creates something just so. I mean, all together we've had 9 kills in between us,
Yeah, we got the
and
Brothers in Arms patch and everything, and I have to admit, one of the better aspects. I don't know. This is the one thing that I have to say is by far my favorite aspect of World of Tanks is when you get into a match and you're all effectively communicating with each other, you're effectively destroying so much of the enemy team because of simply
because you're
yeah,
united, you can
yeah,
say, oh, we're falling down there. Okay, 2 of our tanks will go that way, while I'm gonna stay here and keep this big because there's only a few tanks here. I can probably hold them. I might not be able to kill them, but I can definitely hold them, and
yeah,
that allows. And the other team can't just the unity that's happening because
yeah.
of us. The other team just can't take. They're like, oh, they're united. What are we doing?
Yeah, plus also, I think one of my favorite parts is just the communication. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but in some games, a simple lack of communication is the reason why the game fails. You type into the chat, Artie, we've got I don't know, an E75 charging with a mouse, and Artie will still focus on the light tank that's taking cover. And it's just like,
Yeah.
Artie, E75, mouse. And they're like, no, I want to kill this this T50. And it's
Oh
like,
god.
you bastard, you scumbag. And there
Uh,
you go. There's the
yeah.
name for you. But so like I said, if you guys are into World of Tanks, by the way, you may want to check it out, as there's a whole bunch of new funky things which are making World of Tanks absolutely fantastic. And
Yeah, especially if when 8.6 comes out,
oh,
you
yeah.
might as well wait until 8.6 comes out. I
No,
think
no,
it's
no,
going to
no,
be
no. Definitely check out World of Tanks beforehand. So
no,
you
no,
can
no, no,
feel.
because if they create an account now, they won't get 100% crew on their tier ones.
Oh, but
But I mean, you could check, you could just look, but don't like maybe
we've
play
just
it.
spent the last 30 minutes just saying how great the game is, and now we're telling them not to get it.
Don't
Make
get it
your
until
mind
no.
up.
8.6 is coming out in the next 2 weeks,
Well,
so
They haven't put in a release date.
no. But usually
They
when it's
haven't.
got testing, it's gonna be like 3 to 4 weeks, because that's what happened for 8.5.
Does that mean then, by the time I'm going off for my holiday, that'll be when they put it in? Oh, gutted.
Ha ha ha.
Really gutted.
Well,
You're gonna
guys,
be
if you
like,
want to play with me,
oh
I'll
no, but
free.
come on. Oh,
Well, I'm here all summer, so you know.
I'm here all summer too, but I've got my own holidays. I bet you've got yours.
Yeah, I know. It's cool.
Yeah, when he's on his holiday, we're totally gonna have awesome time. Nah, but if you
But yeah,
guys,
we'd seriously recommend this game,
yeah,
especially if you like tanks, if you like teamwork,
mm,
and
okay,
generally
well,
if you like blowing up
if you
other
have
people.
friends who like teamwork and games, I will be honest with you. The only thing I would say that are the downside is half terms, special events, and some members of the community here. That's the only
Yeah.
downside, and that's not because of the game that way it creates. It's just unfortunately average Joe Blog, who probably doesn't pay attention in his history class, just plays this game and he freaking ruins it some days.
Yeah.
There are days where I can actually rage quit, not in a major way, just like I just can't be bothered with this game at times
Just
because it's just
and for
it,
those out there who are thinking of that now, that sounds bad. It's not as anywhere near as bad as Call of Duty.
oh god no. Trust me, I tried making a video when the Call of Duty did a free weekend, and I just found myself getting more angry every time I tried to record it. And at the end, I was like, "Screw this game! I hate it!
I'm
Die!"
playing World of Tanks.
And yeah, literally, the moment I played World of Tanks, my day just went so much better. Yeah, you do, but that's the only time I'd say World of Tanks is not so great. Not because of the game itself, but it's just some people are a bit dumb.
Yeah, I think you get those on every single
Oh,
multiplayer
yeah,
game
you get the
anyway.
dumb games, and you get the dumb gamers anyway. But no, we can't recommend this game fully enough. When the patch comes out, you will undoubtedly
Yeah,
see a video.
definitely. I mean, it's free to
Uh,
play, so if you
exactly,
don't like it, then you wouldn't have spent anything on it.
exactly.
So
And also, don't forget to check out the multiple tiering of tanks. And also, guys, a little advertisement for myself here. If you would like to check out my channel, I've got a variety of videos of all the different types of tanks out there. And if you like anything like that, feel free to check out my channel, as I can give you good information upon different types of tanks. I've got different nations here. I might need to start putting them into certain sections for what
into playlists,
nations. Yeah, I need to learn how to do that. So Rex, teach me that.
yeah. Okay, we'll do.
And if you guys enjoy that kind of stuff, do let me know in either comments, likes, and subscriptions. Feed the fun machine, otherwise it becomes depressed and wants to try and kill itself. It's a pain in the ass, I know, but you know, gotta try. You gotta have your commitments somewhere. So yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, let me know, and I'll happily keep on creating it. And I enjoy it. And is a rarity. If we ever become this famous, if you see us on the battlefield, uh,
Oh gosh.
say hi. I guess it'll be
Yeah, well,
nice.
we're always ready for platooning anyway, because we've already
Yeah.
got. I mean, since Daimyo has gone AWOL, anyone can join really.
Oh, just forgot to mention that one last thing. If you have more than one friend who wants to play, you can have a three-man platoon in patch. Since at patch 8.5, you can have a
8.5,
three-man platoon on an unpaid, unpremium
Yep.
thing, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I
which
find
is nice.
awesome.
So you can play with 3 guys, which is
Yeah,
what
it's
we used to do.
awesome.
But so yeah, guys, if you want some help also, starting out, I mean, me and Crap Hunter are, well, we're not always free, but we'll be happy to
Yeah.
maybe go through with you for a few first games. I mean, I'd be happy to do that. So
Yeah, I'm quite happy to do the same. Pretty much.
just
I
hit
could
us
teach.
on the comment section below.
It's, advertisement. Yes, great advertisement. No, I'm just saying, if you guys enjoy that, we'll be more than happy to help you guys out. This game takes patience. I think that's the
Yes,
greatest thing
yeah.
about it. Is
If
that
you're not a
this thing
patient
is not like
person,
Call of this thing is not like Call of Duty where you can run in, gun, pick up and play. Which okay, may dissuade some of you, but also when you get into it, you can have so much fun. I mean, we've had some damn fine matches, and even if we don't win, we still have lots of fun
no,
because
you get. It's a vast majority. You will not win every game. That is
no,
definite.
that is a
That is
definite.
absolute definite. Most of the time, you will win one just as often as you will lose one. So other way around. You will lose one just as often as you will win one. That's the one.
Okay, well, yeah, well, whilst
And
yeah,
so when don't get dissuaded if you keep losing at the beginning, because eventually you'll just start winning afterwards. It all
yeah,
depends on
and
team and stuff.
if you find a German Tiger tank, that'd be cool. If you want to go for that, I'll happily, highly recommend Tiger tank. No, no, go out
Go
here.
for the IS.
No, the Tiger. No, but if you guys enjoy that kind of stuff, feel free to check out the game. Feel free to check out our
Well,
links
Crap
in the
Hunter's
description.
channel has a lot
Yep.
of Auto Tanks play, as well
Yep.
as on GDTV. There's very much Crap Hunter does Auto Tanks for this as well. So
Doing an epic pose at the moment.
oh well, no one can see you.
I know, but I'm forever alone inside.
Oh, it's okay. I think that wraps it up for today. I
Yes,
think.
indeed. Yes, indeed. If they haven't been creeped out by how much we like this game.
Oh my god, they argue too much. Quint, where's the cross? Close this window.
No, no. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. And hopefully you don't mind the fact that there's only 2 of us here. But that said, I think we did a very good job. Actually, we've been, ironically enough, with us 2 here, we've actually been able to keep the conversation up a lot longer than most podcasts.
Yes,
It's like we're normally
that
at like
is true.
35 minutes, and the game is like, all right, let's get going. They're all bored. With us, it's like we could jabber on till the day goes. And we're still,
Let's not do that though,
let's not do
because people will
let's
get
just
bored.
shut up here. Let's just shut up here, and we'll give them a reason to live. Okay, so we're gonna head off ski. So with me tonight is Rexasor,
Yeah, see you guys. Thanks for
Hi.
joining us.
and I have been your host, Crap Hunter. If you guys want to check out World of Tanks, keep looking at it, and we shall see you next time. This is Crap Hunter signing out.